Well, since the arrival of COVID-19 1 year ago, the virus has killed just more than 1,900 South Dakotans. Because it spreads so easily, it has been up to the hundreds of South Dakota nurses to be there to give comfort in the patient's final hours. As KELOLAND's Tom Hansen shows us, working those at the hospital the past year has been challenging physically and emotionally.
Laura Hoyton lives in Salem and drives 44 miles to work at Sanford Hospital in Sioux Falls in the pulmonary unit. During the height of the pandemic, her husband Robert says it wasn't uncommon for Laura to work 14-hour days.
I personally am able to be there for these people in the hospital when their families aren't able to be there. I take that as a high responsibility on myself, and I know my coworkers do too, but then on the other flip side of it is tired, exhaustion, wanting it to be over.
But that's not all this nurse of 3 years had on her plate. Imagine working during a pandemic and then throwing in a complication, a very cute and cuddly complication. Meet 14-month-old Jace, born in a normal world on January 27, 2020. When Jace was just 3 months old, Laura had to leave her baby and go to work, knowing that doctors and nurses in other parts of the world were dying from a strange new virus.
You don't really understand it until you're there, and it was just truly an emotion that never left. It was fear, guilt, scared, anxiety. It was hard to put out. It was really hard to put out, and I lived it every day at work and then came home and as best as I could tried to draw that line, draw that barrier and focus on my family.
The barrier crumbled last November.
I slept all day and I woke up to have supper with my family and put my son to bed, and I remember holding him and just sobbing. Thankful that I had my family because so many people were losing theirs. Holding him so tight and apologizing that I couldn't be the mom that I felt I needed to be because I was a COVID nurse.
Laura says without her husband Robert, she would not have been able to cope as well as she did.
You know, she's trying to get home and be a mom yet, but I knew she was exhausted, and I guess I just stepped up and took care of Jace, made sure she had something to eat when she got to work, and got her through her 4 shifts and tried to enjoy the time that we had when she was off.
Stepping up when I couldn't. There was nothing left in me to step up at home, and he found it in him to be there for me and be there for our son, all while balancing everything else.
The Hoytons say things are already better because of the vaccines, and they take comfort in knowing that a single smile from this little guy can, at least for the moment, make the pandemic seem far away. In Salem, Tom Hansen, KELOLAND News.
Robert and Laura say that they also credit their family, their daycare, and Robert's employer, Sioux Nation Ag, for being supportive.